spot between these two. Not only did the Giants let Saquon Barkley go, but Daniel Jones all his life with the 3-0 Colts. But nobody will ever forget those glorious 3 games that Russ played for them. And nobody can ever take that from the G-Man or the sack of potatoes himself, Russ. The decision to bring him in made no sense, but the decision to bench him makes perfect sense. The Russ era, all 3 games of it, comes to an end, and the Jackson Dart era begins. I'm Jim Rome.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult 19 to 49 with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protectyourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
Warning, the national debt is spiraling out of control. Trade wars are causing record volatility, and inflation could make a devastating comeback. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? And what if you could do it tax and penalty-free? Find out more by requesting your free 2025 gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match on bonus silver if you qualify. Call 855-969-GOLD to learn more. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Thursday to you on Sports Daily. Thursday's always fun here on the program. We are jam-packed today with all kinds of good guests. Jacob Albrecht here, TJ Cleveland with you, getting you ready for the football weekend. Our betting insider in to help us with that, PJ Glasser. We will do that. That's PJ, a little baseball news, too, as we'll talk about Cal Raleigh getting to 60 home runs. Kevin Saul, we missed him yesterday. He's going to pop by today, get us ready for Shocker Madness and a couple other things going on over at Wichita State's athletic director. And then in the next hour, Tim Fitzgerald, our KState Insider, gives us, kind of a pulse check of the bye week and what's happening with K-State football in a season that is surprising all of us. It's all coming up for you here. What's on tap? Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Yumkin Pumpkin Ale, WBC's most popular seasonal beer. It's made with actual pumpkin served with a spiced rim. Yumkin Pumpkin now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm hitting the part of the parabola when you become a morning person where the first couple of days are really nice. And you get to that middle of the hump there. And yesterday and today, it's man, it says a 6 on the alarm clock, doesn't it? Man, we're awake, but we're getting there. I'm getting more accustomed.
It's a little adjustment, no big deal. You get the hang of it. You can learn the beauty of a good nap now, if you'd like. But if I'm gonna try to go play golf today, a little bit of golf, 9 holes, Crestview Country Club, great support of the program. Shout out to them. I found a little spot. It was 9 holes. I got an hour and a half between things. So right after the show, I'm going to head out there and play a little golf. So if I see you out there, hello. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a part of the show. One of the great things about being out there, 36 holes of golf, when you're in a situation like that, you can usually take the tee sheets and find a spot to go play a little bit. It's been a while for me. Give Crestview a call, by the way. Ask them about their memberships. It's been a while since I've played golf. I'm falling behind here in my routines.
I'm way behind. I haven't swung a golf club in a month. I feel like home ownership does that to you a little bit. So that first round, whenever it is, I think that we're going to go play next week, actually. And it's not going to be pretty. Or maybe it will be pretty. Maybe that's what I need.
Yeah, it might be. It might be even better. Less thinking and more swinging. But it is the best time of year to play golf. I will say that. If you don't, we're right on the cusp, though, because soon the leaves will fall, and that's not as fun because you just spend a whole lot of time hunting for gold. That's when you try to find like those electric blue balls. Like what color will not blend in with what's
Nothing.
falling
It's all
from the
gone.
sky right
It's
now.
all going in. It's all going into the abyss whenever those leaves fall.
I mean, you could just keep it in the fairways, I suppose.
Let's not be crazy here, Jacob. We've seen ourselves play golf.
That would be one thing that you could do. What a night. The Royals fall last night, by the way, if you're keeping tabs on those things and how far or not far above 500 they could end up. 3-2. The offense kind of lets them down again. Stephen Kolek continues to be a nice addition for this team, and they don't get it done. So a couple more opportunities here in 4 more games, and we'll just see, TJ, if they can finish above 500. But the story of baseball last night was Cal Raleigh. And crazy. Cal Raleigh getting to 60 home runs as a catcher. We had the conversation, I think it was last week, on what would it take for Cal Raleigh to be, be able to compete with Aaron Judge for that MVP. And kind of the consensus was, well, he'd need to at least get to 60 home runs and sort of break through that barrier, because he's not going to catch Judge in OPS. But when you consider the fact that he plays the premium defensive position, when you consider the fact that the big difference is, of course, batting average, but the power numbers for Raleigh are even ahead. I think at this point, with the 60 home runs, the fact that he's a catcher, man, I think I'd give it to Raleigh. I know that's going to make baseball nerds angry who just live and die by the analytics, and they would tell you that OPS is the only thing that matters and all of those different things. Man, it doesn't factor in defense, and it doesn't factor in the difference between being a catcher and an outfielder. And I think I'd give it to Raleigh.
I don't know. I agree with you in some sense, and in the other sense, I feel like I don't. I think that there's a little bit of the argument of the fact that he's a catcher, the fact that, as the argument has gone on about even Salvi, and the fact that he's a catcher and has done these kind of things. Like, it's just, like, that doesn't change the fact of your offensive stats, But that's my thoughts on it. I understand it's the defensive premium.
What changes? What does it matter that you play defense, or should this just be an offensive only award?
I mean, it's such apples to oranges at that point. Like, how can you compare? Like, if you win a Gold Glove and oranges,
how do we compare positions across any sport for an MVP?
I mean,
how do you compare Shaq to Gary Payton? Back in their heyday.
It's true, but they had all the same. I guess that's fair. I guess Gary Payton wasn't getting blocks, I guess. So,
and Shaq wasn't getting steals. So yeah. you have to factor that stuff in. I think when you're this close, when you're seeing the best season we've ever seen from a catcher, and by the way, I just checking the odds. Last week he was minus 500. He was plus 500. You know who the odds on favorite is now? Cal Raleigh, minus 210. He was 5-1 last week. Now Aaron Judge is plus 170. So maybe there's something to it, and maybe this turned last night. I didn't happen to check them yesterday before he got to the 60 home runs. I don't know if that's where that's coming. But it's we have to leave a place for this kind of thing. Okay, what if he passes Judge's 62?
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I agree. Like, it's just it's a really hard argument. I think that there's actual validity to both sides. Like, I don't think that it is a runaway on either side. I walked in thinking, man, Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs. Like, he has to win the MVP. And then you look at it, and I mean, that's the only. I mean, home runs and RBIs, and then Aaron Judge has him caught in every other category. And so, I don't know.
Here's my issue, and I told this story last week, but you weren't here. The year that Salvi broke the record, I think I said something as simple as he deserves to be a top 3 MVP candidate, and somehow that made its way into like Yankees Twitter, and they tried to light me up over that. And I'm like, guys, like, and all they would ever say, OPS. Well, and I don't remember who their catcher was, like Gary Sanchez, or Gary Sanchez has a higher OPS than he does. I'm like, God, like, walks aren't everything, and walks inflate OPS. Okay, like, I get it, but at some point, something else has to matter. And this is baseball. This is our most nostalgic sport, right? Like, we love the numbers on this. We get 60 home runs from a catcher. We may break the all-time home run record with a catcher. And you're going to tell me because Judge's WAR is higher, that guy's not going to be the MVP that year? That's crazy. That's crazy. And walks usually are the difference in something like that. And I get it. God, they don't want to pitch to Judge. And they pitch around. I totally understand how that adds to his value. I do. But we can't ignore a season like this. I don't think. We'll discuss it later. We'll get PJ Glasser's take on it now. Now that the odds have flipped, maybe a little less interesting. But we'll continue that discussion, a little appetizer there. We should have Kevin Saul after the break. We've got that. We've got this conversation, the Chiefs. We get a practice report, all kinds of stuff to cram in on a Thursday. So stick around. We got more Sports Daily coming your way.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
On KFH.
You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game all season long, kicking off with a nice Week 4 matchup. Baltimore, Kansas City. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. You'll, of course, see that game on KWCH. Thanks for watching us right now on 12 News Connected, Facebook, YouTube, X, all the different places you can leave your comments there. Joining us now on the program, Kevin Saul, Wichita State Athletic Director. Kevin, welcome in. How are you this morning?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Look, it's a busy time for you guys. It's ramping up to one of the busiest times, though. We have Shocker Madness, and we are right around the corner on this thing. Can you believe that?
We are close. We are 5 weeks from the season opener against UNC Asheville. As you mentioned, we've got Shocker Madness October 4. And we've got a open charity scrimmage against Drake on October 11th. And then they'll go to Denver and play Santa Clara in an open scrimmage just to get some road experience. And then we'll be off and running November 4th.
Kevin, I'm curious about the open scrimmage thing. As you said, Drake's coming here into the Roundhouse. This is the first year that this is a legal thing to do. But basically, in layman's terms, is this the secret scrimmage and now it's just not secret anymore?
That's exactly what it is, TJ. You remember we've always been a little cagey about these closed scrimmages here the last several years because we didn't have the ability to welcome in the fans, the public. We couldn't report box scores. All that's changed now, and you get an opportunity now to host 2 open scrimmages. So we're taking advantage of our opportunity to do that at home and try and pour into the community a little bit. Half of our proceeds are going to end up going to the Wichita Children's Home and U-Jump, which Cheese Johnson leads, as you guys know. So we're really excited about that day, not only competitively, but what it'll mean for the community.
And then another part of the basketball, men's and women's hype train that's rolling right now. You guys just sent this out. There's a tip-off luncheon where people can meet some of these kids, coaches, everything, and that kind of tips everything off after those scrimmages and before the actual season starts.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've lowered our prices on the tip-off luncheon just in effort to try and get as many people there as we can. Not dissimilar to our season tickets. We're offering our lowest season ticket at $400 that we have in 15 years. And guys, here in the next week, we will be announcing the dates, times, and television matchups for our conference schedule. And when that happens, we will be offering the lowest single game pricing package we have since 2018. So we want to make it very, very affordable because our fans have spoken to us and we're listening. Really, really important. The tip-off luncheon is October 17th from 11:30 to 1. It's a $200 table, 8 people per, and just a great opportunity to come in and hear from Coach Nooner, Coach Mills, myself, Mike Kennedy, meet our players. We'll do a panel discussion with our players that I think our fans will enjoy. So just a great event coming up on Friday, October 17th. Fans can purchase tickets by calling our ticket office at 316-978-FANS or going to GoShockers.com and purchasing online.
Kevin, you said, it's a great opportunity to meet these new players, and that's a good thing because right now, you, me, and all the fans and everybody are kind of just, guessing about this team. There's a lot of new faces, something you and I talked about last week. Coach Mills said at the open practice that the way that you have to kind of recruit the transfer portal has changed so drastically since he started at Oral Roberts. So, kind of what's your thoughts heading into the season of a team full of guys that we've never seen wear a Shocker uniform?
Well, it's a great question, TJ, and it's awesome to be with you on the show. Congrats. But, we've had these guys on campus since the first week in June. Now, granted, the coaches have had an opportunity to spend 4 hours a week instructionally with them for that time, and then they get 4 hours in the weight room. And yesterday began the phase of our year where we get them for 20 hours a week. And so, throughout the summer, you're teaching system, mechanics, language, right? There's a language that each coaching staff has in terms of how they play, a lot of video review. And then there's the physical conditioning piece and getting guys ramped up from a soft tissue perspective, from an endurance perspective for 20-hour weeks is a real thing. We've got to make sure that they're prepared. And if you look at, which last week I got a graph from Ashton Mearpool, our strength and conditioning coach, and it was basically a summation of muscle mass gained, weight loss, body fat percentages. And when you look at that, you can tell that our guys worked incredibly hard over the summer. So we know we have a group that's very competitive. We have a group that scrims the TBT team and beat the TBT team. Very physical. Feedback from the TBT players, and Zach Bush was incredibly strong defensively, very physical. We've got 4 guys that shot 40% or better from 3 last year. We've got 2 dynamic bigs. So we know a little bit, TJ, but as you mentioned, you need to start getting into some outside competition, which these scrimmages will allow us to do. So you really can refine it when you start your season November 4th. But we're excited about season tickets, guys. We anticipate about a 90% renewal rate. We're working our way through the last set of accounts that we've not yet heard from. The renewal due date was last Monday, September 15th. So we're working our way through those. Anticipate we'll be at about 90%. And we're closing in on 500 new season tickets sold. So I think the excitement is growing a little bit. I think our community is excited to see this team in Shocker gear and representing them well.
And then they just got to win some games. Before we let you go, Kevin Saul, Wichita State Athletic Director, volleyball begins conference play tomorrow, Kevin. 8-4, some quality wins in there. How does that non-con resume stack up as they get ready for the ones that really count now?
Yeah, no, I think it's you can look at this non-conference, and I would say for the most part, beginning of the year, you're probably going to expect a 9-3, 8-4 type of start. And so I think from that perspective, it's relatively what the staff expected. You can look at a great win against an Arkansas team that's receiving votes. You can look at some very competitive matches against BYU and Kansas. That first set against Kansas going 28-26. We had 4 balls in that first set to put away and win that first set. And obviously that changes the dynamic. But we played some quality opponents, and at this point in the season, we're getting into the American Conference schedule. As you mentioned, we're at UAB on Friday, and then Sunday we're at Memphis. And it's just super important to get a really good start in league play. Start yourself at the top of the standings and then defend your way through it. But I think we've got a really good group that can do that. We've also had some really remarkable results, guys, in both men's and women's golf and women's tennis. I would highlight Xingtong Wang with our women's tennis team. She's doing something that's never been done before in the history of our tennis program. She is currently ranked number 73 in the country by the ITA. And she's at a competition that's called the ITA All-American Singles Championship. She has advanced to the round of 32. She's going to play a student athlete from Cal this morning. She beat a really quality top 100 player from Tennessee yesterday. And if she can pull out a win today, she'll be in the round of 16. We've not had a player that's gone to the round of 32, which is what she's in now. So we've got some really quality things going on. both with tennis, our golf programs. Men's golf just finished fourth at a really strong field, good competition. Here this past weekend in Lincoln, Nebraska, finished fourth behind Nebraska, K-State, and Iowa State, beat some really good teams in that field. And then our women's golf program also did some good things this weekend. We had Mackenzie Wilson finished fifth individually. We had an 18th place finish. We had 4 top 50 finishes at that tournament, and they finished third behind Missouri and Kentucky, beating the likes of Cincinnati, Missouri State, and several other very good teams. So that speaks really well for the remainder of the fall season, the spring season for both our golf and tennis programs.
Kevin, we appreciate it. Go to GoShockers.com. Check out the tickets for all the events leading up to basketball. If you're looking at season tickets, individual tickets, all of that will be available there for you now or soon as we get those times and things released. Kevin, we appreciate it. Thanks for pivoting this morning, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for having us on the show, and go Shockers.
There goes Kevin Saul, Wichita State Athletic Director, catching up here on a Thursday. All kinds of good stuff. I think all of us, I think Kevin would tell you, TJ, you and I have talked about this. There is a buzz for men's basketball sort of building here this year. It feels like, to me anyway. I think the university has done a really good job, the athletic department, in these season tickets from donors and all of these things. It just like it feels like there is a powder keg sitting on a match that just needs to be struck, and some early season success, I think, could do that. And the TBT, I've said this a million times, the TBT tells us that the appetite is there. The appetite is there. Now just serve it up, and hopefully they can and get things going.
I think that honestly, it's a conversation that Kevin and I have been having for a year now, is that this house settlement thing, it's going to change so much about college basketball and so much about college athletics. This is going to be the last year of the true NIL Wild West. And then, the not the odds, but, it shifts in favor of the Shockers in a program that doesn't have a football team, which we've talked about a ton. And I think that,
TJ, we've wondered about that, honestly, for 6 or 7 years, not even with just like the second NIL came before the transfer portal craziness and all the other stuff. The second we saw NIL, how do you, if you followed this basketball program, not immediately recall the recent Shocker glory days of making a coach the highest paid, top 5 paid coach in the country? Like all the things, could you have imagined Ron Baker and Fred VanVleet and Takale Cotton and those guys in an NIL era? Like there is an opportunity for Wichita State, which has always been Wichita's team as much as anything else and had tremendous support, to take off. It's all timing, right? It's all a timing thing. And hopefully this group of players that we all like on paper can come in and fit together well. And you love hearing the stories from Kevin and other people that you talk to about the attitude of this team, how hard they work. We heard that from the TBT guys as they scrimmage them. It feels like there could be something cooking here in a wide open year, by the way, in the American. We don't know anything about any team, but we know even less than you. We don't even know if Memphis is going to be good this year, right? That's usually, you can set your watch to that. We don't even know that this year.
Yeah, it's true. I think that the other part of it as well, not to put words in anybody's mouth that's, supporting or anything like that, but the other conversation is the fact that it's changed how people can help Wichita State. And I think that in the past, before all this new legislation, it was a little bit of, I'll help, but, there's no return on investment. And if anything, I'm just giving you my money and hope that it works out. Now, you can buy the season tickets, and it also helps bring and retain talent into the team as well. So I think that there's a little bit more of a willingness for people to do this kind of thing. I think that goes tenfold into the season ticket donation that we've had.
You just got to win games. I mean, that's the last piece of the puzzle.
Now you got to keep them there. Yeah.
Got to win the games, and you got to get those. And I use this as an example all the time. The TBT stuff, not just that they have big crowds. Those were all walk-up crowds, right? We didn't know if they were going to play. It wasn't like people set their schedules to go to those games and put the thousands and thousands of people in Coke Arena that they did because they were playing for a championship. Those were walk-up games. So imagine if you can build that sort of momentum going into a conference season through the non-con and not have the weird stumble out of the gates conference thing that's happened the last couple of years, like it does feel like it's right there for them, and hopefully they can take it. We appreciate Kevin Saul. If you missed anything on some of the events coming up, the luncheons, the scrimmages, all that, you can go back and listen for free on the Odyssey app anytime to any of us and our segments here on Sports Daily. All right, TJ, we've got 4 or 5 minutes here. Let's go back to Cal Raleigh, and then we'll get to a Chiefs practice report in the next segment. So we kind of started to crack the can on this in the first hour. Cal Raleigh gets to 60 home runs. He is now the odds-on favorite for MVP. I get it. I promise I get it. For the, Aaron Judge is insane. He's insane what he's doing. And he's having an MVP caliber year. Raleigh strikes out more. Judge walks far more. It's really the home runs and the RBI and the fact that he's a catcher for me that is, because I would vote for Raleigh. Like now, especially now that he hit 60, I think baseball, as much as any sport, there's nostalgia involved. We gave an MVP in football last year, TJ, to Josh Allen, who had far inferior numbers than Lamar Jackson. Like, we do this sort of thing with our MVPs all the time in all the sports. Aaron Judge will be your silver slugger or whatever. Like, he's the, he's got all those things, but man, we have to hold a place for this kind of historic season. And I think Raleigh gets my vote. It's decided now that he hits.
I mean, like you said, this is the same argument that we had last football season. This is the same argument that you had back in 2017, whenever you stopped giving LeBron MVPs, and there's a little bit of just voter fatigue. Like, if Aaron Judge had never won if Aaron Judge had never won an MVP, Aaron Judge would be the MVP this year.
Yeah,
but
I think you're right.
I think that's part of it too, which is such a silly thing. I don't like it. That, like, why is Aaron Judge being penalized for having another good season? Like,
I will say this though. This is a unique one. It's not just that we don't want to give, because Aaron Judge doesn't have like a million MVP awards. That's going to end up being Shohei Ohtani, right? It's less about Judge and it's more about Cal Raleigh to me, for sure. Aaron Judge only has 2 MVPs. And I say only, but in context, he's only got 2. But we have to have a place for this kind of season to be remembered the right way. We have to. And 60 home runs for a catcher, 60 home runs, period, is that special benchmark in the sport that we hold so dear. Now, here's the reality of the situation. Judge is not going to get to 60 this year. So you don't have that to worry about, because you could sit there and be like, well, wait, Judge could also get to 60. Judge missed some time this year. They're equally, quote unquote, valuable to their teams. I don't think either one of them is any more or less valuable to their team, right? That's the part of the award that always is the silliest to me. Well, if you took them away, which team? They're both valuable, right? They're both the best players on their team. Both teams would be devastated to lose either of them. So when all those things sit, I'm looking at 60 home runs for a catcher. I'm looking at a guy, we still have games to play. I'm looking at a guy who could threaten the all-time home run record. There is not a more revered stat in sports than the home run record. And he's right there. He hit 2 last night. You don't think he can hit 2 or 3 over a 4-game stretch here?
How many you say he's going to get to? Barry Bonds?
No, we're going with Aaron Judge's 62.
Oh, okay. I guess. Okay.
Aaron Judge reset that record recently, right?
I think outside of the steroid era, I guess, yeah.
Which is the way people are looking at it and the way people have looked at it. Well, I mean, do you think the home run record is 73?
He's not getting to 73. He could get 72.
No, he's not. But we have 2 separate home run records. Yeah. We have the steroid era record, and then we have the other record, which was just broken in 2022, which is what Raleigh is threatening.
Yeah, I think he will.
You think he'll get 3 more over the next 4 games? Let's go. And then at that point, we're not even having a discussion. At that point, Raleigh's going to win the MVP. I think he's going to anyway. I think 60 was enough. All right, we'll come back. Chiefs, We'll look through the quotes from yesterday. We'll get you a practice report update. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in here on a Thursday edition of Sports Daily. TJ Cleveland in with Jacob Albrock. We're talking Chiefs practice report in this segment. Yesterday came out Xavier Worthy, a full participant, everybody practicing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Only 2 limited participants, Mike Dana and Christian Fulton, return to the practice field there. Lots to get into. We did this last week, and Xavier Worthy ended up not playing on Sunday. Jalen Royals ended up suiting up. He didn't play a single down of football. We expect that we should see both, but who knows, because Andy Reid keeps it close to the vest. Jacob, do you think we're going to see Worthy on Sunday after yesterday's full participant news?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So Andy Reid, of course, talks about it. He said everybody is practicing, which it's hard because normally in the NFL, you get like if you get practice, you get playing. And then as the week progresses, if they keep practicing, that's what made Worthy so strange. Last week, he basically, Andy Reid, they said, has optimism grown for his return? And Reid just said yes. And then, of course, he said what he always says. He'll take it day by day. He feels good, so we'll see. I think he's going to play. I wonder, and we'll never get this answer. We'll never get this answer straight, is did they hold him out intentionally last week because it was the Giants, which is always a risky proposition to do in the NFL. But did they do that? Because I can't figure out with that injury, like what's changing from day to day, right? Like what is changing with Worthy from day to day that makes him able or not able to play? So, yeah, I think he'll play. I don't know about Royals. The thing with Royals is like if Worthy plays, we know what he's going to do. He's going to step into his role. If Royals plays, we still don't even know what that means, right? Like what's his role right now? He's not going to, I don't think at this particular moment, we're not going to see him take meaningful snaps from any of the receivers that have been playing. I think Royals just needs to get out there. Like when Rashee Rice comes back, that's where I would wonder what Royals is going to add to the offense. But you're not touching Tyquan Thornton right now. Tyquan Thornton is a very important part of the offense.
Yep.
It's really, and I think Worthy's impact will come at the mercy of Juju Smith-Schuster. Like I think he's going to take some of that role. Basically. Hollywood Brown's probably a little unchanged. So then what would Royals even do for you anyway? So I don't worry too much about Royals. He just, get the reps in practice, continue the slow development, no big deal. It's Worthy that will add something for them. But the reality is, like, at the end of the day, like, they have to just play better. And I don't mean, like, yes, they've had a talent deficiency, but they've had a mistake issue. Stop making mistakes. Stop turning it over. Stop with the penalties. And that will help them become a more efficient offense. How much more explosive are they going to be with Worthy? It's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure. There are a couple misses on Thornton away from being a much better offense than we've seen. I mean, go back to the Eagles game, right? They missed Thornton on 2 of those throws. They ended up hitting him on 1 of them. They missed him on 2. One of them would have been another touchdown. So it does feel like they're kind of that close offensively. And I do think when you're that close, Worthy can make that difference. So I think it'll be big, but I don't think it's not going to move the needle. The line's not going to change.
Yeah.
None of that's going to happen. It just, can he do something after the catch that, for instance, Juju hasn't been able to do after the catch?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing you said right there is the fact that in that first half when they looked so bad against the Giants, I don't think it was the talent deficiency. I think it was the fact that Mahomes ran for his life, like every play. I'd love to see the QB pressure stat. I didn't see that one. But it did feel like somehow this line is just letting guys through. And it's not even just from the left tackle position. Like it looked like it was the entire line that week. I don't really know what was going on with that. But I give credit to the Giants as well, I guess. I do think that getting him back, we talked to Josh Briscoe about this on Monday, is that he may not come in and have 10 catches, but he's going to have a number 1 corner on him and just take them out of the equation, basically, is the biggest thing that Xavier Worthy being back will do. And then that may mean that Hollywood Brown's going to have a huge game or Tyquan Thornton's going to have a huge game, but it just makes them choose a little bit more than having to say, like, hey, we got Hollywood Brown, make Tyquan Thornton beat us. And that's what the Giants kind of did, and that's what happened.
I'm a little reluctant to keep looking ahead to Rashee. We haven't seen Rashee play football in
over a year,
18 months.
Yep.
So Like, I don't want to overstay. Like, the bigger thing for the Chiefs right now will be to play better. I think that's a big, and I saw it reported and rumored yesterday too that, they might be looking at a receiver or a running back to come in. And like, I don't know that like right now for me, the concern is that they just play better. We've seen Kelsey have critical drops. We've seen Mahomes have to run around. We've seen Mahomes miss throws. We've seen a lot of things. We've seen, of course, the penalties are the biggest problem. Like, a lot of those things clean up if they become more efficient in the red zone and field goals turn into touchdowns, right? Those little things I don't think are immediately solved by the return of Xavier Worthy and or Rashee Rice. I do think both of those guys make the offense better, much better, but they still have to execute. And that's been their challenge. And if they want to beat the Ravens, can they execute cleanly? And will that be enough? I think if they can, yes, it would be enough. And that's more of a, again, a tip of the cap to the way the defense has played as it is the offense. But it does, as shaky as 1 and 2's been, it does feel like they're close.
Yeah, it does feel like there's an offensive, just hump right now. And it's the same hump that we saw, all last season as well in the regular season. So I don't know if it's a play calling thing or a confidence thing or what it is. It's just stagnant. It just doesn't have the same.
It's a lot of things. It's Kelsey being older. It's that element of the offense not being what it once was. It's that Rashee Rice masked that fact at the end of 2 seasons ago, and he became what Kelsey always was and became that. And now he's been gone. And then Worthy became that toward the end of last year, and he's been gone. It's as much that they just haven't had any consistency as anything. I think we'd all agree the offensive line has been better this year as far as Mahomes just having no chance. So that's a good sign. Juwan Taylor is a problem right now. They got to get that figured out. Can he just be what he's been for them the last couple of years? And they're going to have to stick with the philosophy right now of trying to run the ball. They ran the ball pretty effectively in the last game against the Giants. Are they going to be able to do that against the Ravens? Probably not, but they got to try, right? And you got to let Mahomes' legs be a threat right now, as much as that terrifies all of us. And they just have to execute better. Travis Kelce has to be better, right? He's got to be better than he's been. There's a lot of that on the offense. And so is it there? It is a really difficult question to answer. I thought this offense was going to explode this year. We'll see if that ultimately happens when it gets healthy. But right now, they're just not executing at all.
I think that what you just said right there is a stat that we don't really talk about that much of what has happened to the offense. After they traded Tyreek Hill, they went to Super Bowl 57, and the offense looked pretty good. And then 58, it was also still pretty good. They had their struggles out of the gates and everything like that, but eventually figured it out. And I think the fact of the matter is that Travis Kelce was just awesome those 2 years. And then since then, when the offense has struggled these past 2, he was your number 1 receiver. And that's why nobody talked about the receiver room. The receiver room in Super Bowl 58, Marquez Valdez-Scantling was basically one of the biggest players in there. Rashee Rice was a 22-year-old that was still getting acclimated and everything like that. So I think that it is the decline of Travis Kelce is what this team is feeling so much, because you're losing, your wide receiver one's production, and that's what Travis Kelce was. And so that's more so of any of these injuries or anything like that, I think.
Yeah, I wish I had the answers for people. I really do. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be better. I thought it would before the season. I'm not sure I still believe that. I want to think so. They haven't had a deep threat as effective as Tyquan Thornton has been, in my opinion, since Tyreek Hill. Tyquan Thornton is better than MVS was. I think he's getting open. He is making plays. If that connection continues and you've got 2 or 3 opportunities to take that shot per game, it does change things. If Worthy can turn a 5-yard catch into a 10-yard catch, which Juju Smith-Schuster is great, and everybody loves that he's there, but he catches it and he falls forward. if Worthy can add a little juice to that, if Hollywood Brown can add a little juice to that, because Worthy's back and maybe taking some attention, I do think, though, I think there's a lot of pressure on Travis Kelce right now. Kelsey's got to be better. Like, he has to play better. And I don't know if he can, because he is in an age at that position where that's difficult to do. But that's been a big part of it, too. And I think as he has aged, this offense has aged quite a bit. And let's look, it's okay to criticize Mahomes. Mahomes hadn't been perfect either. Mahomes has been Superman this year, for sure, and making plays that are ridiculous and insane. But he's missed some throws that that before last year he didn't typically miss. But he's, he can't have to be Superman so that he can just get into a routine and do some of the things he's always done. I think the offense is close to what it will ultimately be. I think the question now has changed to what it will ultimately be. How good will this offense ultimately be? And the good news is it doesn't have to be as good because the defense has been better than I thought it would be. It's just, what is another, Butker missed field goals in a couple of these games. What's another 3 to 6 to 8 points mean in these games? It means a lot. So I don't even know how much they have to improve as much as they have to just execute.
Yeah, you talked about the run game having to improve it and stay committed to that and everything like that. Something that I've, noticed as the week has gone on as well. As a fantasy football guy, Kareem Hunt's projected to have a 10-point game, which is he hasn't had in a year basically since last year when they picked him up. What do you think that run game is going to look like? We saw Pacheco struggles in that first half, and as Josh Briscoe said, Kareem Hunt's the 3-yard monster. So how do you expect them to split that up?
Percentages wise?
I mean, just, yeah.
60-40 to Pacheco, probably.
I think we'll see a decent amount of Kareem Hunt, I think we've seen a little bit of Pacheco regression since the injury, too.
We have, for sure. And there's a little bit of how good was Pacheco anyway. Pacheco is good at what he does, but that they need more than what he and Kareem Hunt do. And that's where adding a little Brashard Smith, I wonder what his total yards are as a bet. And if they're at 9 or 10, which I assume they would be, it's probably a pretty good opportunity for that. They need to incorporate him into the offense. It is an element that they've been missing. The, not Damian Williams, but, just Jerick McKinnon. Yeah. The Jerick McKinnon aspect of the offense, just to kind of keep the defense on their heels a little bit.
That's who Brashard Smith is.
That's what he is, and Andy Reid's not going to use him a ton, but can he get 4, 5, 6 touches a game? Probably, and I bet he will soon if he doesn't this week, because it does. It's going to change what when he's on the field. If the defense sees that, they're going to have to account for him in a different way, and just through that, it maybe opens the door for somebody else. So I am having a hard time with this game. I really am. I don't have a good feel for it. We'll get to it tomorrow because we have to. We got to make picks tomorrow. Coming up in the next hour, we can talk more about that. We've got betting. We've got KState. We got all kinds of good stuff. Stick around. We got more Sports Daily coming your way.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Glad to be here with you on this Thursday. Thursdays are very busy. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland here. We've got our betting insider, PJ Glasser, coming up this hour. Tim Fitzgerald, our KState Insider, both coming up in this hour. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oztoberfest, the deeply copper-colored German-style lager that will make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oztoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. We have been discussing the MVP case for Cal Raleigh, who is now the odds-on favorite as he gets to 60 home runs. We've got the Ryder Cup, TJ, starting tomorrow. You ready for the Ryder Cup? Are you in on Ryder Cup?
I am. I can't lie. This is something I've talked to Tommy about it in the past as well. Is that I'm a newfound golf sicko, so I haven't really been a Ryder Cup guy in the past. I've never been locked in on watching the Ryder Cup, so I'm excited to watch it just to experience that and everything.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I've got a buddy I found out yesterday who's up there with his dad, and he was kind of sending us some pictures and videos, and it's awesome. And I thought about it. Honestly, I think I might rather go to the Ryder Cup than the Masters. The environment for the Ryder Cup is wild. You've got people acting like they don't typically act at golf, which is more my speed. I am not a sit still quietly and they're getting fired up. It's us versus the world. I think it's awesome. And I think it's a really cool thing that golf does. And we got to have it this year. We got to have it this year. I don't understand. Here's what makes it hard is it's not simple. It's not as simple as tennis, right? Where the best players just always win. It doesn't work that way. So, you've got Scotty, of course, is in there, and you've got the ranking by the World Golf Rankings. It's pretty even, right? You've got Bryson DeChambeau tossed in, even though he's the 21st, and there's strategy involved that I don't understand, but all my favorite guys are in this. Colin Morikawa's in it, who's one of my favorites, Cam Young, these young guys. But when Scotty's leading the way, you got to have it. And it's not all on him, but if he can set the tone, I like USA's chances this year. I do. I like it. It starts Friday at 7:10 a.m. So I think that's East time too. I think it's like 6:10 in the morning. We'll have it tomorrow. We'll throw it on and keep up. We get the pairings announced later today. But it's match play. There's so much to love about it. I'm excited you're joining it because I was a late bloomer to it also. And it's just the vibe of it is wild. It feels like a football game out there.
Yeah, I can't believe, honestly, this is my first time looking at the odds of it as well. I can't believe that Team USA was favored in this one because whenever the European team came out, it was like, holy cow, that's a loaded squad that they've got. Obviously the USA is too, but it's really top heavy. But they do have the top guys on USA as well. So, but yeah, as you said, I mean, even on Team Europe, the guys that they've got are all guys that I enjoy. Like Ludwig Oberg has been awesome since he came out of Texas Tech. Watching him play that year that he did the Masters as an amateur, and so it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited to. This is like the last hurrah for the golf season too, isn't it?
Yeah. This is kind of it until they start playing winter golf in Hawaii or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get that simulator thing back.
Oh yeah, TGL.
Which, by the way, Swing 365 has that kind of simulator. That's the same, technology. Appreciate their support of KFH and Odyssey. So we've got the Ryder Cup. We'll have more on that tomorrow. The fun thing for us, I believe it will be going while we're on the air tomorrow. And Fridays are wild and crazy and everything, but I think that it will be going, which will be a lot of fun. We got a high school football day coming up. By the way, high school coverage here on Sports Daily brought to you by Zentex Remodeling Group. Remodel your bathroom in as little as one day with Zentex Remodeling Group, ZINTEX.com. What happened to Thursday night high school football, TJ? Used to be we'd get a nice City League game on a Thursday. We don't do that anymore, do we? Haven't done that for a couple of years.
There's some. It just depends. It's all just kind of based on scheduling. They always try to get Fridays. They never do Thursdays on purpose, but I think that, the City League's always the most common because not everybody has a stadium and you basically share between Heights, South and Southeast. And so there's none this week. We've had some in the past. Eisenhower and Goddard will typically give you some Thursday night action because they share a stadium as well if they're both at home. So I know I've had my eyes peeled. I haven't had any. We haven't had one that we went out and got. There's been some in Topeka that they've helped us out with and everything like that. But it looks like it's all going to be Friday. So.
It's a Friday night. We'll get you ready for it tomorrow too. We'll have a Catch It Kansas segment, but that's there. I'm looking at some of this Ryder Cup stuff, and it's awesome. It's going to be so fun, and I hope I hope the American fans do their job and do the Lord's work and show up and be as absolutely obnoxious as they can be. Let's show those Europeans how to have a good time, American style. Let it be loud. Let it be crazy. Make them uncomfortable. The trash talking. Have you ever watched the Ryder Cup? Like the trash.
I've seen the highlights from the scrambles and stuff. Yeah.
Dude, it's so good. It's so much more like the rest of us playing golf than the regular. Not because the abilities of the golfers change, but because they start to feel more like regular people talking trash, getting into it with fans. Like it's awesome. And we got to get it done. We got to get it done this year. The Royals, TJ, real quick, we'll put a bow on this, and then we've got other things we've got to get to in this show with our guests. 3-2 losers last night. Stephen Kolek, good again. Look, Stephen Kolek's been really solid as a starter for Kansas City. He was kind of like the Lorenzen of that trade, and that's probably going to be his role next year. He's making a case to join the rotation. I'll tell you that. And that makes the offseason even more interesting. Kolek goes 6 innings, 2 earned last night. He's making a case. And he's not going to get that's it for him, I think. Man, now he would add like a 7th or 8th guy into the rotation.
Yeah.
It would be a fascinating offseason. And if I were the Royals, I'd look to see if Bubic is healthy, because I think if you could convince a team that he's healthy, you could probably make the Singer for India type trade a little bit elevated and go get your outfield bat that way. And honestly, having 7 or 8 starters available is not the worst thing in the world. Look at what happened this year. They needed all the injuries. So it also raises your floor to have that kind of depth. But if Kolek can factor into the rotation and not just kind of be a long man, that's a big deal for next year.
Yeah, that raises the question. That's what we brought up at the trade deadline. Whenever Chris Bubic was healthy and was one of the best pitchers in baseball, is what is the market that you could get for him?
I know.
So I hate the trade.
That could present itself next year too. It doesn't have to be the offseason, I suppose.
Yeah.
If he's not healthy, then you could look at it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. It hurts to trade him after what he did this year, but you just kind of have to bet on on him not becoming a perennial all-star, basically. And strike while the iron's hot, because if he is healthy and able to, pitch like he did last season, then, there's going to be a market of a whole bunch of teams that are going to want him.
At least 6 innings pitched in his last 6 starts of the season, Kolek, and 2 or fewer runs allowed in all 6 of those starts. How about that? Just a really strong finish to the season for him. And he's making a case, like he is, to be a part of that rotation next year. Next year, like, all bets are off. And let's see if there's 2026 World Series odds real quick. We're not going to have them yet. They're not out yet. It's all just 2025. But it's something to pay attention to, because when you can start with your rotation and go from there, which is what they did this year, I get it, but they had a lot of injuries this year. It'll be one to watch in the offseason. It's an exciting time. I know the Royals aren't going to get where we hope they would be this year, but 79 and 79, let's see if they can finish above 500. Let's see if they can get to those, 80, 81 and 81, or 82 and 80 would be even better if they can do it. I think that the trajectory is still positive for Kansas City. It's a good time to be a Royals fan. Hell, TJ, it might be the best time to be a Royals fan when you consider Bobby Witt Jr.'s in there. You consider the pitching depth that they have. Even, those teams that went to the World Series, which were fantastic, that was a build, but you could always see the end of that dynasty kind of coming, right? You could kind of time it out. It's a little harder to do with this group. This group seems like they've got a little more staying power than that. Good luck to the Royals, man.
Yep.
You'll hear them, by the way, tonight on KFH at 8:30.
It does feel like you make a good point there. Back in the 2014-2015 run, that was like a strike while the iron's hot. Like, they're all here right now, and then it was kind of a little bit of a quick window. I know like Hosmer and Moose and those guys were here for a few years, but they got called up and they were like Jack Caglione. They're kids learning how to play MLB baseball at the highest level and everything. And so it was a quick window. Now the fact that that lineup's going to be pretty salty next year, I think, if they can get an outfield bat.
Well, it's the same lineup as this year, and we kept waiting for it to be salty, and it wasn't. So I don't want to get caught in fool's gold there either. They need help, clearly. If they're going to return everybody in the lineup, development of young players will certainly help. All right, we'll come back. We've got PJ Glasser next. Let's look at some bets when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH. And now, if you're looking for the best props and games to lay your money down on, from BetMGM, here's KFH's betting insider, PJ Glasser.
There it is, big fancy intro and everything for PJ Glasser. Hey, well deserved putting us on that Cleveland Browns money line last week, PJ. Now come on, that's got to be. Is that your biggest dunk of the year, you think?
Yes, so far that definitely was. We almost had the Jets too against Tampa. That witching hour in week 1 or in that 1 p.m. hour was on. The games in the first half were like really bad. Like, everything was like low scoring. It wasn't very good. And we got to the fourth quarter, and that's why we love the NFL, man. Those games were just ridiculous down the stretch.
Good. I was driving back home. And I was unfortunately in a non-betting state, just like hoping to get to the state line in time to lay some down. But my wife is driving and I've got Red Zone on my phone and just like overreacting to everything. And they're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, you have no idea what's happening right now. And yeah, the witching hour, they're like, well, you're an idiot. Okay, fine. Let's start with college football this week, PJ. We'll start with our 2 local teams first here. We look at Kansas State. We look at Kansas. They're both the 11 o'clock window today. So as we look at those windows and as we look at those teams, let's start with KU. We'll start with the good. KU's been good. They've been better than people expected. 4.5-point favorites at home against Cincinnati, 56.5 on the over-under. What do you like in this one?
It's an interesting line, this one, with Kansas minus 4.5. We talked about their game against West Virginia last week. What a great spot that was for them coming off of a bye. West Virginia was coming off the huge rivalry win, the backyard brawl against Pitt. Now you're playing a Cincinnati team who's desperate for a nice win. This line opened about 6, and now it's down to 4.5. So it would probably be Cincinnati if I had to play the game. They have a very good defense. Sorsby's a nice quarterback. This game's probably going to be close, like most Kansas games are for the most part. So I haven't played it. If I did, it would probably have to be Cincinnati plus the points for me.
PJ, we did the good. Now let's get over to the bad. We've talked every week about K-State of what the heck is going on. They're still favored. They've been favored in every single game this year, and they should realistically not have a single win on their record thus far. What does Vegas see in K-State that the rest of us don't?
I think, TJ, what they see is that UCF is just equally as bad. Somebody's got to be favored in this game. So K-State, look, they're coming off a much-needed a bye week. They had the Arizona game, which was brutal. Now they come back home. UCF's coming off the big win against North Carolina, but UNC's no good. So this should be a good get-right spot for Kansas State. I don't think I want to lay 6 with this team right now, but I think putting them in a money line parlay, minus 225, minus 250, betting them on the money line, I think is a good play. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. They lose this game, things are going to get really, really ugly. But this should be a good spot for them to get right.
All right, let's go over to the main slate then of the rest of the games. We didn't have a ton of premier matchups. We have at least 3 of them where you're getting top 15 type matchups. The biggest, Oregon, Penn State at home laying 3.5. Where are you at with this one?
For me, it's all about the number. I think if you get Penn State at 3, I'd lay it. If it stays 3.5, I'd just take them on the money line. I think they win the game. I would never bet Oregon at the current price because I do think Penn State wins. Now, this could be a great game to bet live. If Penn State gets up early, you can get Oregon 8.5, 10.5, those kind of things. I think it would be a good bet on the Ducks. But look, I mean, up to this point, Oregon's definitely passed the eye test more than Penn State has, but neither of these teams have played anybody. You know, Penn State has played Villanova, FIU, Nevada. Oregon's played Oregon State, Northwestern, Oklahoma State, Montana State. So we don't know these teams yet. But because Oregon's looked more dominant, you're getting a better price on Penn State than you really should. I think this game should probably be closer to 4.5, 5. So that's why I like the Nittany Lions. And guys, keep in mind too, Penn State's coming off a bye week where Oregon's coming off a rivalry game against Oregon State, has to travel across the country, and now play in arguably the toughest environment all year, the Penn State whiteout game. So this is it. We all know James Franklin's track record in these big games, how he tends to lose. But he's usually not a favorite in these big games, and he usually doesn't have the better team. And I think this year he does have the better team. So, you know, it could be like an Indiana-Illinois thing where we really didn't see those teams play against anybody. We weren't sure how good they are, and then we quickly found out how good Indiana was again. I think it could be one of those cases where we think Oregon's better than Penn State right now. I don't know if we're going to think that come late Saturday night. So I like Penn State. I don't want to lay 3.5 with them, though. I'd either want to lay 3 or just take them on the money line.
PJ, I'll give you one more college game here. The other top 15 matchup, number 4, LSU, number 13, Ole Miss. LSU is a bit of a weird team. You know, you saw the Brian Kelly blow up on a reporter about the offense. They're still the number 4 team in the country, but it seems like that nobody in Louisiana believes that they're any good for some reason. It's basically a pick 'em. What do you like in that?
Well, you know what's funny is their season this year is kind of an inverse of what it's been the past 4 years, where they usually have an elite offense, terrible defense, and this year they have a great defense and a bad offense, right? But I actually like the over in this game, you guys. Over 54.5. This series tends to be high scoring. One of the biggest surprises has been that LSU defense. They went into the portal, and all these guys that they got have hit. They played great. But games that we thought their defense was elite against Clemson, against Florida, the more we watch those teams play, we realize that Lagway is maybe not as great as we thought. Clemson's certainly not as good as we thought they would be coming into the season. This is the best offense by far that LSU will have played all season. And Trinidad Chambliss, the backup quarterback, is going to start his 3rd game now, but he's been terrific. He put up 38 against Arkansas, 45 against Tulane. I still think they're going to be able to score. I think LSU is going to be able to score on this Ole Miss defense too. So the line, I think, is lower than it should be because of how good LSU's defense has looked. But I think the teams that they've played, the offenses that they've played just aren't any good. This is a real first test for LSU's defense, and I think you're getting a nice price on the total. So I like over 54.5.
And then, PJ, before we switch to the NFL, what are your absolute favorite bets this week in college?
So I like Utah State a lot, you guys, plus 22.5 against Vanderbilt. I think this is just a letdown spot for Vandy. Their last 3 weeks have been Virginia Tech, South Carolina, and Georgia State. Georgia State beat them last year, and they hung 70 on them last week, which tells me that they were looking to run up the score and remembered how that game went. Virginia Tech and South Carolina were 2 games on the road in hostile environments. Next week, they have Bama. So it's like, how many games can Vanderbilt get up in a row? You know, I think this is the game where they take the foot off the gas. They're just trying to get in, get out with the win. They don't care about margin of victory. So I like Utah State plus the points. And then I like Bama plus 3 against Georgia. I think they win that game. Bama, look, Kirby's only been able to beat Bama 1 time. Last year, Bama, their 2 best wins were off of bye weeks when they beat Georgia and they beat LSU. And fellas, they're playing for their season. You know, they're the more desperate team. They lose this game and have 2 losses. They got to run the table if they want to make the playoffs. So you love betting on desperate teams in the NFL, in college football. And Bama's a desperate team. They have to win that game. So I'd look at them on the money line. I like Utah State. Auburn, I think, beats A&M as well. So there's 3 dogs for you.
There you go. Let's get over to the NFL. Let's just get right into the biggest one. The PJ-TJ Bowl, Ravens and Chiefs going down. 2.5 points is what we're looking at. What are you taking in this one? Probably the biggest game of the weekend.
I'm interested how you guys feel about this and how like Chiefs Kingdom feels about this game, because I can tell you Ravens fans have no confidence. I have no confidence. I like the Chiefs plus the
Chiefs
points.
has no
I like them on the money line. The reason being for me is simple. I know that people think there's a chance that the Ravens could blow Kansas City out. I just cannot see that happening. That will not happen. There's just no way. This is going to be a close game. I think I compare this game to Ravens Steelers games of the last like 4 or 5 years, where on paper, the Ravens are the better team. You're going to watch the game. They should be up a lot more than what the score actually is. But Kansas City, especially at home, is just going to find a way to muck it up and keep it close. And when we get to the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, are you going to want Lamar? Are you going to want John Harbaugh and Zach Orr, the Ravens defensive coordinator? Or do you want Andy Reid, Mahomes, and Spags? I mean, to me, it's Chiefs. I just don't know how you can lay points with the Ravens in this game. Fellas, when the Ravens play at Pittsburgh, at Buffalo, and at Kansas City, it's all mental for them. It's never about how talented they are. It's never about what they've done to other teams. When they play those 3 teams on the road, it's all mental, and they freeze up in the fourth quarter. So, their defense right now is a mess. Their D-line is all banged up. I think Mahomes is just going to scramble around and buy time and make plays like he always does. So I like Kansas City in that game.
Here's what I would say, and here, tell me if you think this is a good. I think if you like Kansas City, you like the under. If you like Baltimore, you like the over.
I think I totally agree. Correlated game. I would agree.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one. Chiefs Kingdom is just as nervous, I promise. I mean, the Ravens are still the second odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, with their schedule, it's gonna be tough. Their schedule is terrible. They're definitely, I think, the more desperate team. Let's look around the rest of the slate here tonight. Thursday Night Football, PJ Seahawks Cardinals. It's one of those times we get a really compelling Thursday Night Football game. Cards 1.5 point home dogs with a low total. Do you get the same sense on a low scoring game here?
Yeah, I think so, because Kyler Murray has really struggled against Seattle in his career, and he struggled against Mike McDonald's defense when these 2 teams played last year. I just don't think Arizona is very good. I mean, they've played the 2 worst teams in the NFL, arguably, the Panthers and the Saints. And I mean, the Saints had a chance to tie that game late. The Panthers came back, had a chance to win that game late. Last week, they played San Francisco. They should have won that game, didn't. And now they go up against one of the top defenses in the NFL. And Seattle's a team, guys. There are teams in the NFL. I look to back them at home, or I look to back them on the road. And Seattle's just a great road team. They won 7 games on the road last year. They've already beaten Pittsburgh on the road this year. Now they go to Arizona tonight. And, they opened up as a small underdog. Now the line is moved to where they're a small favorite, and I agree with the line move. So I do like Seattle tonight in the game.
Yeah, just what are your other you're looking at? We get Sunday morning football. It's a weird slate. There's no real marquee games on Sunday outside of, that Chiefs game and maybe Sunday Night Football. What else are you going to be watching?
Yeah, so I like the Chiefs. I like Seattle. The Chargers-Giants game's an interesting one because they're pricing that game the same as they priced Chiefs-Giants. And I think at this point in time, we would all agree that the Chargers are a better team than Kansas City. So I understand they're coming off 3 straight divisional games. They have to travel across the country. But for Jackson Dart to be making his first start against that defense is a tall task. So I think anything under 7, I like the Chargers this week against the Giants. And then I like the Raiders as well, you guys. I like the Raiders against the Bears in a pick'em. I just have absolutely nailed Chicago. I loved them last week against Dallas because I knew nobody would like the Bears. And then this is what they do. They give false hope to their fans, right? So everybody was all the way out. Caleb has a good game. They put up points. They win convincingly. And now all of a sudden, people are they're climbing back in, right? Oh, we got the Raiders, then we got the Saints, then we got a bye week, and they start doing the mental gymnastics, right, about how they can turn the season around. The Raiders are due for a nice performance, and I think at home, this is a good spot for them. So I'm going to fade the Bears this week. I like the Raiders in a pick 'em.
Raiders. Eagles Bucks real quick. TJ mentioned marquee. I do think that's a marquee game. I know the Bucks are a little banged up, but the Eagles haven't like just dominated people. The Buccaneers as 3.5 point home dogs. That seems a little fishy to me.
You know, the Eagles, they're turning into the Chiefs, you guys, where it doesn't look pretty, but they just find ways. And that's what it is. So I wouldn't lay 3.5 with them. Tampa's super banged up, but Tampa Bay's been a house of horrors for Philadelphia. I mean, they smoked them in Tampa last year. They beat them in the playoffs the year before. So if there's one team, one place that Philly has struggled, it has been Tampa. I wouldn't lay 3.5, but I just take the Eagles on the money line. I think they win the game. They just find a way like they seemingly always do. And now with Mike Evans out, I mean, that Bucs receiving core is super, super thin. And that's how you attack that Eagles defense is the cornerback outside of Quinyon Mitchell. So I think it's a good matchup for Philly, and I think they win the game.
PJ, one more here real quick. Not football, baseball. Is Cal Raleigh the MVP? Gets to 60 last night. He became the odds-on favorite.
I think so. I mean, Seattle hasn't won the division in 25 years. They finally do that. And, you know, we know how great their pitching has been all these years, but they haven't had the offense, and they do this year because of him. I know Judge has the better stats. He's batting like .330 with 50 bombs. I think you give it to Raleigh, though, man. I mean, both teams would not be good without those guys, but Seattle, they need that offensive spark plug, and they finally got it. So I think Raleigh wins it.
Okay. Well, the odds are in his favor now. We'll see if the stat nerds win or the good story people win in the voting with the old head writers. PJ, we appreciate it. We always enjoy your insight, and we will go and make some money this week. It's pretty much guaranteed, right? He's the host of Send It In and Inside the Betting Lines on BetMGM Network. PJ, of course, we're kidding. It's not a guarantee. Be careful out there, everybody. Have fun this week, and let's go make some money.
Enjoy the weekend, fellas. Talk to you soon.
There goes PJ Glasser, our betting insider here. Always good stuff. Had us on Browns money line last week. I'm just saying.
Did you take it?
I did. I was out of town. I couldn't take anything. I couldn't. I tried to. I think I put them plus points in a parlay before we left, but the problem is we left for that trip on like a Friday morning. And so anything you did had to be early, right? Like everything was early. So it was more of just like maybe a few player props. And I didn't get to bet much last week. It was a bummer. I had a college football parlay that would have capitalized because I had Texas Tech and then a bunch of PJ. And then I, for some stupid reason, put Oklahoma State in there, I think, to finish it. And I put them on a money line too. I didn't even put them to cover whatever their number was. It's just like, I'll be Tulsa. No, they did not.
They did not.
I'm excited to be back in my routine this week of how I like to go through and like process and research and do everything. It starts with what PJ says usually, and then it goes into the players I like in the NFL, and I try to bundle all those up, go through all the sites, find all the bonuses, utilize those, and then put a couple parlays, and then go heavy on the primetime games, because why not? Like tonight, I'll come up with something for Thursday Night Football, because why not? I don't like hearing that it's a low scoring game though. That's never good for those same game parlays. When you see low totals, you're like, ugh. You kind of need big scores to hit on a lot of those. So I don't love that piece of it. But these are two pretty, like, how do you not get in on a Jackson Smith and Jigba prop of any kind right now? Like, you want to talk about funneling the ball to somebody.
I couldn't believe that whenever we were talking about fantasy football at work yesterday. He scored like 23 last week. Like, he's crazy this year.
I mean, he was a baller prospect that was blocked by Metcalf and Lockett. It shouldn't surprise us probably. And we know Sam Darnold last year funneled the crap out of the ball to Justin Jefferson. It tracks, right? Like, it makes sense. So I don't know. We'll put together something on the game tonight, because we have an obligation to do these things. That's what I tell my wife. We're obligated. Michelle, like, I have to bet. Like, we have to talk about this tomorrow. That's what I always say.
I'll try that one. I'll try that one out.
It works now. Now, welcome to Sports Daily. Welcome as a regular time host. Now you get excuses like that. I have to for work. It's for work. We'll come back. We got Tim Fitzgerald. What's it like in Manhattan right now? That's next.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
only on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And we welcome you back in, and do welcome in our K-State Insider, Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com. Fitz, you've been poking the bear down there this week on the bye week, or what?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, the Bears got to cooperate a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't the Bear have some responsibility here?
Yes, a lot. How about winning a game? How about looking better against North Dakota, Fitz?
I know.
The bye week has been in. We assume they'll be healthier than they have been. What can you say to convince K-State fans something will change now going into the meat of the Big 12 schedule?
I can't. The reality is, all you could hear at this point were words, and until that game hits on Saturday morning, we don't really know what the bye week brought. And hopefully it's immediate. You can see it from pregame on, but they have to earn the faith back of everyone after, saying we got this figured out before Arizona and then just doing it again.
Fitz, we talked a lot about Dylan Edwards here on the show. It should be full go is what Kleiman said for this coming week, but we've also said that if Dylan Edwards is that good of a player that when he's not on the field, this is what the offense looks like, then he should probably win the Heisman. How much of a difference will Dylan make?
Well, the real key here is the other backs aren't a threat. So defenses can just totally lock in on Avery in the run game and, just worry about the other backs when they need to. Nobody's broken a long run, really, other than Jace Brown, who's a real threat, and he's a receiver. So having Dylan back there equalizes things a little bit more, makes the defense a little bit more honest, and might open things up for Avery a little bit, particularly in, the read option where he's, deciding to hand it off or keep it. And his key has been handed off every time because they're taking him away. So that's where it equalizes a little bit. And then maybe someone can grow into being a better backup without all that responsibility on their shoulders. But having him back's huge. The availability report came out last night. He's not even listed, so he should be a full go.
A full go. They need something, Fitz. I don't know what it is. Let's look at the quarterback, Avery Johnson. I think it's hard for us here. We can all be honest here. This is a safe place. It's hard for us here because he's a local kid. He's a high school legend. He ended up at K-State. Like, the story is so great that it feels sometimes hard to bring on any criticism, but the reality is he has not played very well this year, at least by the standard we expect of him. What do you think the reason for that is? And what do you think the solution to getting him back to the Avery Johnson we've known for so long is?
I think he's got too many voices in his ear that he's trying to appease. Everyone has outside noise, but he's got too many people, probably family, coaches, maybe idiots like me. I don't know. He probably doesn't listen to me. But the point is that everyone's telling him something, and he's probably telling himself something, and it's causing this hesitation within the moment. I truly believe that he's not just going out there and playing. He's trying to be someone that he's never been before. I think also there's a fear that the hit at Colorado, he realizes how much it changed him. But now by not running, having this hesitation to run, it's changed him. So he doesn't know quite how to handle this. The young man needs to relax, tune us out, tune everyone else out, and just go play football. Go be Avery Johnson. He was such a definitive runner when he was young. I'm going. I'm hitting that gap right there. Boom, gone. Now he hesitates. Now he thinks. Now he doesn't turn on the speed, and it shows up.
Fitz, we just talked in our last segment to our betting insider, PJ Glasser, about this game. K-State has been a favorite in every single game this year, and Vegas is not adjusting. What are they seeing that we're not seeing, you think?
I think they're basing everything too much on trends, and K-State has a lot of trends that defy what's going on right now. I think if they lose this, or even don't cover and still win, we'll start to see an adjustment here. And I remember a few years ago when I think it was Wichita State basketball was hitting the under, hitting the under, hitting the under, hitting the under. And finally Vegas went, hold on. And you started seeing lower scoring games. It was easy money for anyone who hopped on it early, as games were not high scoring at all. But I think they'll adjust if K-State does it again. I think this is the marker right now. Because everything else has been a little bit unknown. They still didn't know about Arizona going into that game. And maybe UCF, it's kind of unknown, but there's a little bit more book now on both of these teams.
Yeah, I think so. What about the offensive line? We talked to Wyatt Thompson each week, Fitz, and he consistently this year has pointed to the offensive line as a big problem.
Yeah.
Can that get better? I mean, that was it was probably the biggest question coming into the year. We know that Avery Johnson can get better. We know that Dylan Edwards adds juice to the offense. What we don't know is, can this offensive line group play better than what they've played? Are they better than what we've seen, or is it they are what they are?
There's some truth to that. Obviously, they didn't feel good about the offensive line when they went out and basically brought enough players in through the transfer portal to be a new offensive line. And there's a reason those guys were in the portal. And I think George Fitzpatrick is the only one who fits what they really needed. He came from Ohio State, where he was an outstanding offensive lineman, but there was other ones in front of him that were even better, NFL caliber, as we've seen. So now that he's out, they're not getting the full benefit of him. But here's my thing, is they're dealing with a first-time offensive line coach. And I think he bought into this rotating player thing way too much. An offensive line has to get in sync and be one. That sounds corny, but they really do. And by constantly replacing guys, this piece out, that piece in, nobody's getting any continuity. For heaven's sakes, you're 4 games in now. Go look who's been the best offensive lineman. Remove everything else you're measuring with, experience, size, whatever else is out there. Who's been the best 5, and where do they fit best together? And let them play. And if someone needs a break, then you substitute. Don't substitute just to substitute. Pick your dudes, pick your backups, and be sensible about this. And as late in the game, you're up by 20, go ahead and put some guys in. Quit rotating possession to possession. This is not running back. This is not receiver. These dudes need to be in sync with each other.
Fitz, I've been talking. We've been saying a lot of things about the coordinator. Obviously, Colin Klein has been a topic of interest. I said that I think that the biggest loss that K-State has been Connor Riley, not from the fact of him as an offensive coordinator last year, but the fact of him as an offensive line coach, what he's done there as well. Before we move forward with that, we're talking about coaches. You're a Big 12 guy. What's your thoughts on the Mike Gundy situation?
Well, he usually, with a coach of his experience and his history, you let him finish the season. But it became very clear he was finished already. He wasn't interested in coaching a team. He let down himself, his alma mater, every fan, but maybe more importantly, all the coaches he brought in after firing everyone else, all the players he brought in through the portal, to just mail it in. That's guys, that's awful. That's deceitful. I would never hire him for another job to be in charge. I pity the AD who does that, because it became very clear that he just wanted the paycheck and gave no damns about winning football or fulfilling the assignment he was getting paid for. I think he really damaged his reputation and made himself kind of toxic. I'm really disappointed because I'm a huge Gundy fan, but what he did this season was disgusting.
The argument that I've seen that is so interesting to me is the fact of what he's done there. I mean, he's the most successful coach, at Oklahoma State. Like, he's a guy that you'd put in the Ring of Honor. He's the guy that you talk about building a statue. Like, does that go out the window now?
That's a great point. And maybe time will heal it, But I'll say this. Time healed Gary Patterson and TCU, but Gary Patterson didn't pull this.
Yep.
He just ran out of juice. This is bad. This is really disappointing, and I feel bad for the Oklahoma State family because they trusted someone to give them one more shot. Some fans didn't want to, and they were right. But I think there was a lot more going on behind the scenes here, and I also want to point this out that Gundy was an incredible coach, but his arrival also kind of coincided with the T. Boone Pickens money surge and gave that whole program a lot of energy and really helped build it up. And now what's going on at Oklahoma State? They reportedly have the worst NIL in the Big 12. And believe me, that's a huge issue that they have to solve. And hopefully this situation has awoken their donors/investors now that know they have to give more to the new coach.
Yes or no, Colin Klein will be the next coach of Oklahoma State?
I don't think so. I think they've got unless there's a bunch of no's and they can solve these problems. If they get a bunch of no's, it means they haven't solved their NIL problem. They haven't solved some of these things that are going on. But the Texas State coach is up there. Zach Robinson, a former quarterback, is up there. And there's probably other people. I don't think this is a great fit for Colin Klein. I think he's going to be at Kansas State or in the SEC with his next job.
Yeah, he could shoot higher. I agree. Fitz, what do you guys have going for us? Go Power Cat. Get us ready for UCF.
Well, the pregame show premieres at 10 a.m. on the YouTube machine. It'll pop up as content on Go Power Cat at 11. And we'll have the Friday walkthrough with Monty Spiller and Cole Carmody tomorrow. Just lots of coverage, lots of diagnosis of what's going on, both free and VIP. If you're not subscribing, now's the perfect time because we're really drilling down to find the answers for the fans.
Glad that YouTube didn't kick you off there, Fitz. Apparently they were doing a little of that, in past years. Go to gopowercat.com. Go find all the stuff on YouTube. That's as close as we'll get to any of that business there, Fitz.
Yep.
But it's an interesting time right now to be a K-State fan. We'll see if they can get it turned around. Man, all I want is them to beat the hell out of them. That's it. Is that so much to ask?
It's the same thing my wife wants for me. For God's sakes, just look better.
Yeah, sometimes we can't help that. Fitz, we appreciate it. GoPowerCat.com, @LifeOfFitz on X. We'll come back. We got a little more Sports Daily for you. Still don't go away.